Do you know my boy? His name is Jesus, and I need you to know him because he is the changing point in Earth's plan. When you say the words man up, he is the definition of a man. So let me tell you his story, which just so happens to be a story of romance. There he went. I never felt such sadness because he was my Erasmus, meaning my beloved. Bearing the knowledge of what he would one day do, all I could do was sit and watch because I love you. And I still remember when he entered the world of darkness and sin. Oh, how I tried to say no, but he begged to go. He said he wanted to reap what you have sowed. And so knowing that he would never be treated fairly and the world would get quite scary, I gave him to my virgin child, Mary, who would raise him carefully and care for him selflessly. And at first she didn't quite understand, but soon found out my plan, that she carried my son, the Son of Man who would save the lost, the broken, and the damned. But now Joseph, a man after my own heart, he too was quite confused when he found out his wife carried a child that he had not produced. But he soon came to a place of equanimity as an angel came to him and declared that it is not his but a supernatural anomaly, both God and man. So his thoughts became less stressed as he was told to take the child to Nazareth, where he would be born to one day defeat death. So the journey began. Mary by donkey and Joseph's feet on the sand, and as they were on their way, another journey began. 3 wise men saw a heavenly star and started on their way until they came to a kingdom, and told the king that there's a child being born who was the true king to this kingdom, who would give all freedom. But this king, he had his own desires. He said, let me meet this child so I might call him sire. Oh, what a liar. He just wanted to burn my son with fire. So I had my angels quickly warn the men of the king's plan to sin, so they left immediately. Whereas Mary and Joseph had just reached the city and found none who had pity, until they came to an inn with no room but a stable, with not even a table for Mary to lay her head. She still gave birth to Jesus and laid him down in a manger to rest. Not too far away were some shepherds tending their sheep, but froze as angels began to speak and told them that a child was born. Who is he? The true shepherd, and we are the sheep. Amazed by what took place, they began to get their things together and went on their way to meet this Jesus face to face. So, there they stood, the first of humanity to see our salvation, to see how heaven would begin its infestation, to see a glimpse of revelation, to see the Savior that would reach every nation. So they gave their gifts, making this statement: we give you our material things because you've given us engagement. What else could they do? They were witnessing a covenant made new. But though something so simple, it was so eloquent, so inspired by love, that we just can't understand why someone would give their son to in return receive sin. But yet here we stand today, broken and confused, but left unstained, because he entered mortality, because he loved humanity. You opened the doors to your kingdom so we could become yours. Yet when it's time to celebrate your son's birth, we're too busy filling up stores. We even look at giving like it's a chore. But when God says, I've given you my son, how could you want more? We just sit and ignore, because it's not an issue of our flesh, it's an issue of our core. But let me tell you something you may not have known. Jesus' coming was actually prophesied for thousands of years, but he was rejected because he didn't come in the way they had expected him to appear. They were looking so hard for a bright and shining Savior that they neglected to see that God was here, laying in a manger. But really, There's only two options in this. We can either act as the shepherds and wise men and give our lives to receive life anew, or we can act as the rest of humanity and hide away from the truth. Because when we reject our God's act of love, it's really us neglecting to give our love. But I want you to think about that girl struggling with insecurities, or maybe it's that boy struggling with father disabilities, or maybe it's that stripper struggling with purity. And understand that our Savior was born in a manger. He went to the lowest of lows so that we could know that love is for all. You see, Christmas doesn't start with those gifts you bought at the mall. No, Christmas starts when you fall on your knees and you give Jesus exalt. Christ, meaning Jesus, and Mass, meaning together. We come together on this day to celebrate Jesus Christ.